So this is the first time we really see the fallout of Identity Part 2. So, but
Yeah.
so that I thought that was pretty interesting. So Claire calls Isaac, and she decides she wants to have them both go and talk to Marcus, and they have Ty go in the other room because Ty's playing his video game. And this was a very tough scene. Isaac apologizes to him the best he can. Now he doesn't have the same emotions as a human does. Heck, he denies having emotions altogether. So he's like, "Am I doing this right?" He's like, "I am sorry." He says it like that. "I am sorry." And like I thought was going to happen, uh, it doesn't work. And Marcus ends up telling Isaac to his face he wishes he was dead. And of course, because he's not human, he's AI. He doesn't process it the same way. We're kind of wondering what's going on. Like, does he not have feelings? Is everything he's saying, is he being legitimate when he says that he doesn't have these feelings, or is there something he's just not telling us? So we find out that Isaac leaves. He's walking alone in the corridor, and there's this really emotional music that's being played. And once again, the music in this episode was great. I loved it.
Yes.
I heard a little bit of Jerry Goldsmith, a little bit of James Horner.
Yeah, heck, even maybe a little bit of John Williams too.
Yeah.
So Isaac walks alone, and he goes to he looks out the window. He looks out into space. And one thing I thought about when he was doing that is he felt alone. He turned against his own people, so he's cut off from them, and it seems like everybody on the Orville doesn't want him either. So he's completely alone. And that I felt, even though we can't see his face, I felt that.
We've all been
So
there at some point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're back. So he resumes his work on the refit. He states he has his own little log. He states a lot of techno babble. Then he says this out of left field. I didn't see this one coming. He wishes the Finn family well, and he shorts himself. He shorts his pathways. I was like, did he just off himself? He did.
Mm-hmm.
He committed suicide. Isaac
That's a new one.
committed suicide. And I don't remember, besides the ritual suicide, I don't remember if Star Trek ever really dealt with suicide, because I don't think they did. I don't think
No.
TNG did, other than that Worf episode. I don't think
Other
DS9
than,
did.
well, wait a minute. When Kern came to DS9, and
Yeah,
That's
only the
right.
Klingons.
Yeah,
him.
that's true. It seems he has Klingon. Yeah, the Klingon. It's a Klingon thing. Ritual. I mean, they're based off of Spartans. They're based off of the Japanese to a degree. They're the samurai. They off themselves when there's dishonor to regain honor. So yeah. So yeah, there was the current episode. What was it? Sons of Moog. That was the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, Sons
Yep.
of Moog.
Sons of Moog.
Okay. I think that's the last time we see Kern. They end up wiping his memory. They give him new ones. He becomes part of a new family, and then he departs from the Trek mythos. Well, for now. So yeah, but this this had a lot of weight. So let's go on to the next page. My notebook. We're in engineering. We see that giant orb. I was just like, oh wow, this looks pretty sick.
Yeah.
And of course, they did some upgrade. They did upgrades on the quantum drive, and they find Isaac, and they confirmed that it was suicide. So they have Yefet going, because Yefet did that before. He revived Isaac in Identity Part 2. After he shorted himself and all the other Kevon aboard the Orville. And Yefet comes out, and he's like, I'm sorry, I can't help him. Everything's fried. This is beyond my ability to repair. So we get to the next scene, and Marcus, I wasn't sure if the way the scene began, I wasn't sure if Claire was going to tell Marcus that he was dead, but apparently Marcus already knew,
Hmm.
and he was pretending to sleep, which is something that I've done when
I've
my
done it.
parents would knock on my door, try to wake me up or something. And she comes in, she asks if he wants to talk, how he's feeling, and he's just like, he's like, no, he's like, please go away. I don't want to talk. So, so we're back to the observation room. Claire's alone. Kelly joins her, and Claire tells a story about a pebble when she was serving on board another ship. I forget the name of the ship. And what the basic takeaway from this conversation was, Claire hasn't really forgave him, and she's wondering if she's still in love with him. And they discuss the fact that even if someone did something really bad, you don't automatically turn off your feelings and no longer love the person. And they even said in the episode it's more nuanced than that. So I thought that was a very interesting discussion. I mean, they said a lot. I had to really try to write down what they were really trying to get at.
Yeah, and when I was doing my live reaction and that scene came on, I just said it out loud. I said, "Why can't new Trek be like this? This is Star Trek right here,
It's,
where the characters actually come together and one tries to explain how they're feeling to the other, and they try to work it out together."
well, it's called management. You have Seth MacFarlane who cares about who was a, I mean, he loves Twilight Zone, he loves old Trek, he loves TNG, he loves developing characters and the people that he brought on board. He made sure everyone that he brought on board felt the same way. So there's probably a level of quality when it comes to the script writing that that kind of doesn't he doesn't let things get past him. I think the way he manages. Whereas you have someone like Kiva Goldsman or Alex Kurtzman, and they just let the writers do whatever they want. And
Hmm.
I don't think there's any accountability. They don't even try to connect with older shows, whether it's original, like in New Strange New Worlds case, original Trek, or any of the other stuff. Like the whole, I know the next episode 4, is about the Gorn, and apparently they encountered the Gorn, despite the fact that in TOS Arena, that was the first time
Yep.
that even
Canonically.
Kirk was the first one to discover them aboard the flagship. And you think if
Hmm.
the captain of the flagship, the Enterprise, would know if the previous Enterprise encountered the same species. So they obviously they don't know. I mean, obviously it's the way it is right now. It's pretty much they're in their own universe.